How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. It has been way too long. Holy smokes. It feels like it's been forever since the last time I've been on here for a live stream. How is everybody doing tonight? Jack, I see you out there. How you doing? Oh, man, you know what? I hope I can continue to do this. I hope that I didn't lose a step or two while I was away for a couple of weeks. It has been so busy here lately. Whether it's, Giants putting out a slew of maps, updates, and all that stuff, whether it's stuff going on in personal life, there's just a whole lots and lots of stuff going on. But it's finally starting to settle down, and today's, I think, the first day, and uh, I think there was one day last week where Giants didn't put out at least something. I think it was last Wednesday, as a matter of fact, now I'm kind of thinking about it. But it seemed like every day last week they came out with some kind of either map uh, update or map release. Whew, it was just a crazy week. But and then on top of that, had a whole bunch of episodes that needed to be done in order to be able to get to the actual months where we can actually do stuff. Unless you just want to keep sitting here and staring at some kind of backdrop like I got here of the couple of Kubota tractors here, then I mean we could do that. I just don't know if that'd be too much fun for everybody else out there. But yeah, if you're out there, go ahead and give yourself a shout out. Let me know that you're there. Cry Me River, how's it going? Long time no see. So sorry it's been so long. It's been almost 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks on Thursday will be the last live stream that occurred. Holy smokes. It is good to be back. I am so glad. Just gonna give it a few more minutes, kind of let everybody kind of come in and get settled in before we really start getting into stuff and get to chatting. But how you been there, Crimea River? Been keeping in touch with the comments and whatnot, but haven't had a chance to really kind of sit down like this and see how things have been going. Like I said, we're going to give it just a couple more minutes and see if anybody else comes in. Oh, between the map tours and updates and all that stuff, that's what honestly kept me so busy last week. Was it seemed like Giants almost every single day, with the exception I think maybe 1 or 2 days, was putting out something last week. We got a ton of different maps and updates last week, uh, which really hasn't been happening a lot here lately. It just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. But between all that and getting the episodes where they need to be, where I can actually get us into a good place here on these live streams, it took some time. Things are going good. Finally cooled off. Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I hear that it's supposed to finally cool down around here too later on this week. I think it's supposed to get in the low 80s, which, oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Anytime that it can get below 85, it's a good day. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's give it one more minute to see who else comes in. That's where you are now in the low 80s. Hey, you know what? It's certainly better than mid to upper 90s and just a stagnant air. That's honestly probably the worst part about this area in particular is it gets so hot that the air just gets so stagnant. Then it's just that humid, sticky nastiness. It's so, for lack of a better word, oppressive. The heat and how it can be down here in Florida, it just gets crazy. But I mean, being up where you're at too, I'm sure it's very similar. I know when I lived there in Georgia, in Atlanta, it was hot and it wasn't as humid, but it was a different kind of heat up there. It was wild. But all right, so you know what? It's 9:35. Let's go ahead and get us rolling. So you can see I got a few contracts here. We're just gonna be working on a few things in the background and gonna be chatting, catching everybody up, and oh man, like I said, last week was a busy one. So like I said, basically what kept me away for so long was getting us to where we are here in the story. So basically, the way that things kind of work in the background is, obviously I'm running with seasons and stuff like that, so only certain things are going to happen during certain times of the month, kind of thing. So past several months in game have been the winter time, so no contracts are coming up and anything like that. So kind of trying to progress the story as best as I possibly can, while at the same time um, having the resources available in the background to be able to continue to move things forward, kind of thing. So it's been kind of a really gnarly combination of events that kind of kept me away for a couple of weeks. So yeah, there was the lack of contracts, and then Giants just, like I said, they just seemed to come up with a ton of maps this past week. Um, God, I mean, certainly felt like at least one map or update came out almost every single day, with the exception, I think, Wednesday. And anybody who's a follower of the channel knows that unfortunately, if a tour or a update comes out, that those have got to get done, because those are on kind of that timeline kind of thing of people's interest. Once they first load, it's get them out as quick as they can, so people can see the relevant information and see if they're going to like the map. I mean, that's ultimately what it boils down to. I think most people view the tours to kind of be like a guide as to whether or not they're going to enjoy, what they see, kind of thing. Kind of a judging the book by its cover kind of thing, before they actually go in there and invest the time and resources necessary to be able to dive on in. So yeah, it's one of those that when finally we got some free time, uh, we were progressing the story to get us to here, to where we could finally actually get some contract work and be able to just kind of, get back onto an even keel, kind of thing. So it's just, yeah, one of those things. And then, oh boy, so let's start with work. So as people of the channel know, I recently received a promotion. I am now a what is it? A business improvement analyst is what the uh, fancy term for somebody who looks at numbers all day. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's one of those where I get to kind of leverage all my skills that I've accumulated over the past 15 plus years, and really start to get into the nitty gritty of what can and can't be done within the company, kind of thing. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be one of those where it's kind of a new adventure, and being able to just branch out into kind of a role that I'm not as comfortable as I was in my last role. It's going to be one of those where there's going to be new expectations, new people to interact with, and really a lot of really important people. As I had mentioned, either in the last stream or one before that, I was recommended by the COO for this position, and I'm going to be working with her directly on many initiatives. And it's exciting to be able to do stuff like that, being able to, really kind of hit the upper levels of the company, and have people who actually know who you are, kind of thing, that high up is in one breath it's kind of intimidating, but on the other hand it's really exciting and provides a really huge opportunity for myself, my family, to be able to kind of show them what I'm all about, because that's the thing is, if the COO likes you, then more than likely they'll start using some of the analyses and stuff like that to be able to pitch it to the rest of their cohorts, the rest of the C-suite. So it's one of those that, although, I'm kind of going in on a really good foot, with the personal recommendation of the CEO, it's one of those that I'll be able to also kind of get to know the CEO, the CTO, and really kind of see what all can be done. Uh, kind of behind the scenes kind of thing. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. It's one of those that, like I said, it's in one breath, it's scary, but at the same time, it's, I've never backed down from a challenge. It's one of those that I'm going to, hit it with everything I have and, you know, put 100% into it. And I feel like that's, all that I can do and all that can be asked of. So here's, keep my fingers crossed. I've already gotten, even though I don't start it until Monday, I will I've already started kind of doing jobs for them. So it's one of those, they're really excited. They really want me to like hit the ground running and be able to kind of, you know, really start contributing to the team as quickly as possible. So it's nice. And one thing that's going to happen that's really, I've been really itching to do, is I'm going to finally be able to sit down with some of the operations team and learn a lot of that side of the business that I moved into about a year ago. But I'm familiar with like the data side of things, but I don't know how that data kind of interacts with people. And anybody who has worked kind of behind the scenes for a job kind of thing, where there's a front line and a back line kind of thing, it's one of those where you, if there's that disconnect between the front and the back, and you don't know what the front's doing, you don't know what the back is doing, then when you try and ask each other for things, you don't know how to communicate with each other. And what made me so successful, in my opinion, in my last position was the fact that I came from the operational side. So I knew how to speak with the operations team. So whenever they needed something, they would come to me and say, hey, we need X, we need Y, we need Z. And it's like, okay, well, let me get you X, Y, and Z. And because I knew, X, Y, and Z would eventually lead to things like A, B, and C, I could predict and be able to be like, okay, well, what if I add these things on top of it? These things might be also some key indicators that can, help you all out in the back end kind of thing. And I think that's what kind of led to some really good success doing what I did. But doing this kind of same stuff with a new part of the company, I didn't get that luxury of coming from their operational division. So I didn't understand a lot of how the data kind of intermingles with everything. So now I kind of get that opportunity to kind of learn and to grow. And if you ever get an opportunity to be able to learn to do something new and whatnot, just hit it, just do it, because it's one of those that it makes you better as an individual, it makes you more marketable. And this is not just for business wise, this is just in general. If you have the ability to learn something new, do it, because the more you know, the better you are as an individual, and the more marketable you are, and the more knowledgeable you are. It's never something to look away from. Let's see. Crimea River, you're going to do great. Thank you so much, Crimea River. I really appreciate it. Silver Eagle, how's it going? Hey, thanks for joining us here on the live stream. If I'm not mistaken, Silver Eagle, you are the same map maker as oh goodness, now of course now I'm gonna have the brain fart. It wasn't Blackwater Bottom, was it? I apologize. I don't have any notes in front of me right now, but thanks for joining us. How are you doing tonight? Let's see. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to buy a pallet of fertilizer so that we can kind of get the most out of this contract, because even though we have a $350,000 right now, I need to kind of get as much money as I can. If I can get, you know, $1,000 pallet, top this off and get some extra money out of it, then that's Split Mountain. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I apologize about that. I recognized the name, but I couldn't remember the map. That's, yeah. Oh, hey, thanks for joining us. It's all good. I forgot things. You know what? It's one of those that I really fear like I'm that I'm getting old kind of thing. And my wife, my wife, she always kind of pokes fun at me sometimes, but sometimes I kind of do worry. Is that she'll claim she tells me something, and she's like, "Did you do the thing?" It's like, "When did you tell me to do the thing?" She's like, "Well, I asked you earlier." It's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yes, I know I asked you earlier." And sometimes I think she just tells me that tells me that she did something, or said or did something. But in reality, she's like either thought she told me, or you know, it's one of those kind of. For anybody who's married, I'm sure they experienced something similar to this. But it's just one of those that sometimes I wonder, is like, man, did she really tell me that? And I'm just, you know, starting to get like lose my mind or something. It's something I worry about from time to time. But, oh, where does this one go? This is, oh, a 92? Where are you? Oh, okay, right there, just south of Vineyard. Perfect. Oof. But, so yeah, like I was saying, you know, it's one of those, if you have the ability to learn a new skill, do it. And that's anything. Any kind of new skill, you know, it's a good thing to know more things. So it's one of those, you know, like I said, with this new position in the company, I get to learn, you know, how the actual operations is affected by the data and how they actually interact with it. So that's going to make things a lot easier for me when I need to interface with them, and it's going to make it just that much better when it comes time to you know, work with the COO and all that. So long story short, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good stuff. And turns out I actually know a couple of the people that I used to actually work with in another department. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise. I wasn't, oops, wrong one. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, then on top of all that, besides the work and being busy, you know, all. Uh-oh. What's happening here? What's going on here? 0%. What is happening? Huh. Oops. Yeah. Silver Eagle, it's called selective hearing. That is exactly what my wife says. That is exactly what she says. It's like, you just choose when you want to hear me, kind of thing. And it's like, I swear, like, I don't do that. But sometimes I wonder, do I do that? It's worrisome from time to time, like I said. And now I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to complete this contract. Let's see. Back on up. I'll try this. Maybe it's just something to do with the weeder? I have no idea what's going on. This is going to be a rather short live stream if this doesn't work. Oh, goodness. But going with this smaller weeder, if it does work, then it might be a longer live stream. Let's see. Silver Eagle. I do it all the time. Married almost 30 years. Woo! You are a trooper. Yep, I'm working on just over 10 years now, so I'm little ways behind you, but I certainly try and learn as much as I possibly can. It's certainly an adventure, and I absolutely love every second of it. Let's see now. Drop this down. Come on, work this time. Uh-oh. What is going on here? Why are you not working? Huh. Let me just double check. Weeding. Use a weeder. Weeding. Using a weeder. Okay. So, and let me just triple check, because, yeah, it's not weeding. What is going on here? I've never had a problem with weeding before. What is happening? Let's see. Where's the other one? Okay, that's way over there. That is wild. I have no idea what's going on there. I wonder if it's one of those situations where I have to like reset the map with the saved equipment, and then it let me actually kind of use it. Huh, I don't know. We'll get over to 29 and see what it does from there. So anyways, like I was saying, so then there's the stuff going on with work, and excited and happy about that. Then there was all the map tours and updates and all that stuff going on. And then on top of that, in the background, separate from all that stuff, my wife and I were actually trying to look into buying a new home, actually selling the home that we're in now and move into a different one. Both her and I, we've been very unhappy where we're at for several years now. And we've been kicking around the idea, and we've been doing a lot of going out and driving, checking out areas, and I'm desperate to get back out into the country. So for those who don't know me, I grew up on on a parcel of my grandparents' original farm, where it was where we had access to 300 acres, and then the family, after my grandparents died, they sub-parceled out the land, and we were able to keep a 12-acre lot of that 300-acre parcel. And then grew up there until I was about 22-ish, and my closest neighbor was maybe 6-7 acres away from us, kind of thing, and lived off a dirt road, and it was great. I absolutely loved it, growing up. And eventually we all left Michigan, moved down to Florida. I lived in Florida for several, probably going on 10 years. My job eventually relocated. My job didn't. The entire office where I was located shut down. And after it shut down, they offered me a position in Georgia, and it was one of those. I just met my wife, then girlfriend. We had started dating, and it was one of those kind of situations where I was basically at a crossroads. At the time, see, this isn't working either. Huh, that is weird. That is really odd. So weeder is not weeding. I don't know what to do. Let's see, what if... Where is the weeders? There it is. Huh. All right. Well, you know what? What I might try and do is hop out of here and kind of restart the map with the equipment and see if that fixes anything. But I'll finish my thought before I do that real quick. Let's turn that off. In here, let me catch up just real quick. Split Mountain Ranch was my final map. It's tough to make. Giant Software happy. Plus, I am just busy with working. Oh, well, that's really sad to hear that it's your last map. But you know what? It's one of those that just glad that you're able to make it, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm really happy with that particular map. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Silver Eagle, and I apologize if you don't want to answer anything or if you don't want to be on the spot too much. But I don't often get a chance to live stream with an actual map maker of the game, so figure if you don't mind, I'd like to take advantage of that. But you also work with other map makers, correct? Like you're a part of a group of people. Is that how that works? And then you either co-authored or did you just like make like contributions to other maps? Am I misunderstanding how that works? You do. Okay. Um, okay. Cool. Cool. Shanty Boys. Yes. Yes. All right. Awesome. Yeah, because I didn't know if that was like a common thing where a group of people get together and uh, make maps or make mods or anything like that. And I know I've seen like kind of general names on like the not the testing list but the mod hub and whatnot. So it was one of those that was kind of my assumption, but I didn't want to just go out and be like, oh well, he's part of this group or they're part of that group. But I know like there's like several other kind of group names that just led me to think that that was the case. But so do you have any plans like to start back up with either maps or mods or anything? Like, do you exclusively make maps, or do you make mods as well? And actually, here I tell you what. While I design the maps, other helps do the fields, etc. Okay, that's cool. It's one of those that I always have been interested in kind of the behind the scenes, like actually being able to make no mods. Okay, okay. So I've always been interested in like seeing how it's done. Again, like I was saying earlier, it's always cool to learn things, and it's always like great to be able to understand how those things work. You know, I do the YouTube and whatnot, and it's always one of those things. Like I've always been curious as to how these things kind of come together and how like people make a map kind of from scratch so I could kind of understand it better, and I think it'd make me a uh, better at what I do, when it comes to reviewing maps and whatnot, because I can actually have a better understanding and appreciation of the kind of lengths of and not only the lengths but the limits, because there could be times where if I'm sitting there kind of talking about a map or whatnot and be like, oh well, there's this thing I like, well there's this thing I don't like. Well, maybe I don't like it because it's a limitation of the medium, whatever the you know the mechanism that's used to create these maps and whatnot, that might be the limiting factor. And if that's the case, then I don't want to be saying, oh I don't like this, and turns out, well, it's not their fault, that's just the limitation of the technology or the limitation of things that works. XML work is hard for me. Oh, you know what, if it's anything like SQL or anything like that I'm used to, Redshift, it's it's definitely can be a nuisance. It's one of those that it's for a lot of people you might as well speaking Chinese or some other kind of foreign language kind of thing. You sit there and you have a line of code, and you might know exactly what that line of code is supposed to read or what it's supposed to do, but somebody else looks at it and it just looks like gobbledygook to them, kind of thing. So it's one of those that, like I said, I have a deep respect for anybody who can either do programming or do kind of, like I said, SQL or Redshift, SAS, things like that. So it's one of those, it's definitely a skill. And, like I said, it's one of those I definitely want to better understand to kind of be able to, you know, help myself out kind of thing. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and restart the map. I'm going to put this on pause for just a few minutes until I, get back in here. Hopefully that'll trigger the fields to work properly. If it doesn't, then I don't know what to do beyond this. So it's one of those I might have to just drop the contracts, and I don't have any other contracts going on right now. So I might have to skip ahead to, what are we in? We're in April, so May, just to kind of get everything up and running. So like I said, I'm going to put this on the Be Right Back, and I will get this back up and running in just a second. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. Let's see. Let me catch back up. Silver Eagle. Everything on the map except the buildings came out of my mind. Lots of changes though. The process I made for the wood bridge out of my head took me 3 days to get that right. Holy smokes! That's impressive. That's really cool. Like I said, it's one of those that I would love to learn that kind of stuff and be able to like see the process, like kind of start to finish kind of thing, just because I really think that kind of stuff is interesting. It certainly interests me. All right, let's start from the edge. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Nope. Well, we got a problem. Oh, hey, we can accept another contract. That's cool. That is so weird. Why is the weeding not working? I have no idea what's going on. I'm hesitant to go out and get like some kind of a weeder or something like that. Neither weeder works. Here, let's do this. Nope. That can go away. I have no reason to believe why this would work. Now, what are these? These are sugar beet fields, right? Is that what this is? No, potatoes. I have no reason to think that this is going to work, but I'm going to try just to see. Yeah, no, that's not working either. Okay, well. Alright, well, maybe. What if I get a sprayer? I don't think that would work. I mean, it's calling for the weeder here, so Yeah, this is a contract. Yeah, so the 92 and 29 are, whoops, hey, that's my turn right there. Both of those are contracts, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. So this is the Hills of Tuscany map, and yeah, just not quite sure what's going on. I've not experienced this up to this point. I don't want to necessarily go and lease a whole bunch of equipment just to try and get these to work, but you know what? I might as well try. Maybe get a sprayer. I don't know. I have no idea at this point. But you know what? That might not affect the contract. If I get a sprayer, just if I take care of the weeds, that might not do anything. It might actually kill the weeds, but might not accomplish the contract obligations. Might be an XML problem. I mean, maybe. This map just had an update last week, so might be something that they tinkered with in the background, because there was an issue because on this map there are two different kinds of grapes. I can use this area as an example. So you got your normal red grapes here, but here you got white grapes as well. And I experienced this very early on, that the white grapes, if you mulched or what was it? If you mulched or did anything basically to change the ground state besides like fertilizing, liming, things like that, where it actually like affected the ground textures. Plowing was the other one. It actually destroyed the vines. It just made them disappear, kind of thing. So it's one of those that might just be a kind of, like you said, like a coding issue, some kind of XML issue, not reading the script right. Yeah, that's makes sense to me. But all right, you know what? Let's just go ahead and close those out. That's really, it doesn't make sense to try and gain $3,000 worth of contract by renting out, $2,000 worth of equipment. So let's go ahead, close that. All right, well, we got this one at least. And what I'll end up doing is I'll end up just skipping forward to the next month. So just out of curiosity there, Silver Eagle, for the map Split Mountain, how long did that take you from like start to finish kind of thing? You said that the bridge itself took you 3 days, but how long would you say that it took you to be able to kind of do the entire thing? Like, is it something that takes like the matter of months, from kind of start to finish kind of thing, or is it something that you can, obviously not slap together in a weekend because the bridge took you 3 days, but a year? A whole year? Holy smoke, are you serious? Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. I never realized that it took that long for one map to get done. Like, and I'm sure this is all kind of stuff that you do in kind of the background kind of thing. You said that you have a job, and whatnot. So, yes, with all the changes we had to do. So if you were doing nothing but map making, let's say you had like no wife, no job, like this, that was your job kind of thing, how long do you think it would take you to be able to make that map kind of start to finish? Would it take you like the full year, or would it take you like... Job was the problem, yes. But you know what? I commend you greatly, because a project that takes a year to make, like, that's dedication. Like, that's a commitment right there, because it's one of those where you could easily be like, you know what, 6 months in, I'm done. Probably 4 to 6. Wow, even that's incredible. That's incredible. So if that was your full-time job, was to just do nothing but map making, it would take you 4 to 6 months. Wow. So you know what? That's actually, thank you very much for letting me know that, because that, where am I going? I'm more concerned with talking than I am with realizing where I'm going. Um, that actually lets me know something that I really didn't know before, which is that it's a real commitment to make these maps. And it is just that deeper of an appreciation for anybody who makes maps and mods and just anything in general for this game, because as far as I'm aware, like, nobody gets paid to do this kind of stuff. It's a love of the community, a love for the game kind of thing. So it's one of those that if you're going to work on something for a year and be able to, just have the admiration of the people who you're making it for, like, thank you very much. Let me just go ahead and say that right away. Thank you for making that map and just taking the time to do it. Like, that's incredible. That just blows my mind that there's something like this out there that people would dedicate that kind of time span to, and just for the love of the game kind of thing. That's incredible. That is incredible. Let's see. Just depends on how detailed you want it. Oh, absolutely. And there's certain maps out there that are incredibly detailed. I think there was one map that released just last week. It was like 800 megabytes. Whoa, why am I slowing down? Oh, it's because there's a big hill in front of me. That was like 800 megs to download. And it's, obviously that there's a ton of detail and tons of stuff kind of going on in the background kind of thing. But yeah, that's incredible. The waterfall was the biggest challenge, getting that to look good. You know what? I have no doubts that was a huge bit of detail right there. That wouldn't shock me at all, because not only do you have to get like the texture of the moving water to look right, but then get all the background details and just everything kind of shaded properly. Like, it's an art. Like, what you can do. Like, I know without a shadow of a doubt, and I've said this on many live streams and many different times, I am not an artist whatsoever. But anybody who can go out and make mods, make maps and stuff, that is art. And it's very impressive to be able to not only make something that is, in a lot of ways it's very beautiful, that you can really kind of go out there, but then to actually go about and do it in this three-dimensional space that you can neither touch or you can only kind of see it kind of thing. It's one of those that's incredibly amazing, and it's a really cool skill. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It's just blows my mind that. Oh, now you know what, that really has me kind of chomping at the bit to re-download that map and to really kind of give it another look through. Cause, come on, you can do it, little tractor. You can do it. I think you can. I think you can. I think you. There we go. But oh, that's incredible. That is incredible. Upper Lake Farm, my other map on 19. Oh, that one I don't remember. I'll have to, because I still have 19 on my Xbox. I'll have to check that out. Because now, like I said, now you've got me really, really interested and really kind of excited. I want to see like all the details, just as kind of to refresh my memory, because up until this point, the only real interaction I've had with your map was the map tour and any subsequent updates that have come out since. so as I mentioned, I'm a husband, a father. I work full time, so I do this as kind of like the kind of at the end of the day after the little one goes to bed kind of thing, being able to just kind of kick back, relax, and have some fun kind of thing. And so I might get maybe 2 to 4 hours a night to where I can actually kind of dedicate to either streaming or my let's play series or map tours or things like that. So it's one of those that when I decide to go to do something kind of thing, it's got to be with purpose kind of thing, because I don't have a lot of time to be able to do it. So let's do that. Okay, 6,700. So we're almost up to $400,000. That's not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. But I have no contracts and nothing left going on. So just out of curiosity, what kind of used equipment do we got here? Ooh. Wow. Where'd all this used equipment come from? I don't think I've ever seen this much used equipment before. Oh, we got a 8RT here. Let's see. Got around 100,000 downloads and wow. That's incredible. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's incredible. Like, I wish I had the talent to be able to kind of do this kind of stuff, but that's I started saying that and I kind of trailed off. I don't have an artistic eye. I just don't. I can copy things really well. So I do a bit of woodworking, and I can look at a picture and be able to kind of eyeball and recreate it. I have uh, a entertainment stand, an entertainment table right now that I basically went on to Pinterest, saw something I liked, and then made it kind of thing. But without those kind of rough kind of sketches or a finished product to kind of look at, I just can't. I can't do that without it kind of thing. So I can trace, I can do all that stuff very, very well. What I can't do is just come up with my own kind of thing. So it's very hard for me. I have to go through a lot of painstaking agony to be able to get things to look the way that I want them to look. So it's probably coming down the line. One of my next Let's Play series is probably going to be a start from scratch with nothing and kind of build up a farm. But I'm very nervous about doing it because, like I said, I don't feel like I have that kind of artistic vision to be able to kind of make something. I tend to make things that are practical out of my mind. I don't make things that look good. And if I want them to look good, I have to have a template to go off of. So all that to say that the skill that you have to be able to make that map and to do what it is that you do, it's very awesome. I very much enjoy it. Well, it is 8 o'clock in the morning in April. I have no contracts, so I might as well just skip ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Skip ahead. We'll keep an eye on the contract, see if anything pops up throughout the day, but something should pop up tomorrow. Let's see. Editor isn't too bad to do, just get down to the basics. And you know what? It's one of those things that if I could make a stick figure, that would be an accomplishment. That's how untalented I am with any kind of artistic vision. And then you throw in things like 3-dimensional drawing or anything like that. It's like, nope. I don't have the skills for that. I actually have a friend in real life, and she is an artist, and she is incredibly talented. She's got some really, really good skills. And she does like paintings, drawings, and stuff like that. Not professionally, unfortunately. She should, but one of those that I've looked at like her drawings, her three-dimensional imageries and things like that, and it's just, mind-boggling. And to think that, like you going through Split Mountain and kind of being able to start it just with a concept that's in your own head and then build it out over the span of a year and be able to do something like that. That's, again, I don't mean for it to sound like I'm gushing or anything. That's not what I'm trying to get at, but it's just that's how kind of how inept I am at the kind of artistic side of things. Like, I couldn't even draw a two-dimensional version of this car. That's how bad I am, kind of thing. But then you think about this in a third dimension kind of thing, and being able to make it to where you can actually kind of, not just be in three dimensions, but to be um, in three dimensions that is ever shifting based on where you're looking at it. Like, that's really impressive. Just this car. But then you talk about, your whole map and the waterfall and being able to do that from like that kind of grand position is just, it's inspiring. It literally is. Um, like I said, I'm not trying to sound like I'm gushing or anything kind of thing, but it's at the same time, it really is for somebody like me who doesn't have that skill, that talent. It's cool. It's cool, and it's one of those things that I wish I could do, just never had the ability to do it, never had the skill to do it. That's something I should check out. Oh, something I meant to mention as well at the start of this live stream. So I had an issue with the chickens. Here, let's slow down time just real quick. Let's slow that down. And let's go back to the farm. Up here where the chickens are. Come on. There we go. All right. So you can see we have one pallet that's not even 370 eggs in it. We had chickens for several months now. And what happened is that if we take a look at the animals here, you have two different options. You have grains and you have protein. Well, protein fills 50%. Well, what I didn't realize is when I first used the, I think it was sorghum, is that I put in there. That came up as protein, and it was only giving me 50%. Well, it didn't produce any eggs at 50%. And I ended up buying a bag of chicken feed, which is aka wheat, to be able to get this going. So it was one of those, I wanted to kind of explain that that's something that I noticed that's happening in the background. So we haven't been producing eggs. The sheep have been working great, but I did find something that was a little weird in regards to the sheep. So you got the pen right here, and you got all the little black sheep that we put in here, and it's producing wool. It's all fine and dandy. There's like, ooh, actually we got quite a bit going on here. But if I take a look at the map, I was out driving, I believe I was over here. Might have been over here somewhere. No. Okay, it was up here. It was at 77, because I was going back and forth doing the wreckage cleanup. So we had the wreckage in the last episode. For those who have seen it, was out here. This is the kind of the only road that leads in and out of the whole map, kind of thing. So we were just kind of focusing that kind of part of the Let's Play, that this was all blocked off by cars and semis and all that. So we were bringing them up here. Well, I noticed one of my sheep was actually out in the pasture, or not in the pasture, but in the field, right here in the middle of 77. It was just hanging out there, just doing their thing. Don't know what was going on. So yeah, no idea what the story was with that. But let's see. Let me catch back up. It was fun, but very frustrating at times trying to get stuff to work. I could imagine just how incredibly frustrating that would be. especially because you're talking about a coding language with XML, and then on top of it you're talking about three-dimensional imagery and all that stuff. So it's one of those kind of being able to get everything to kind of both talk and look and do everything that you expect it to be able to do. I mean, that's, yeah. And you get one little snippet, one little line of code that's not right, it breaks the entire thing. And then you're having to sit there and kind of look through it. Now, I don't know how well XML does with being able to kind of throw up red flags and say, oh, hey, this section is broken, kind of thing. Um, Speaking from like SQL coding, like I know how to do, and Redshift and whatnot. Redshift does a really good job at saying, we don't recognize this particular thing that you had put in, so you need to correct this or get this to a state that we recognize. SQL is a little bit less intuitive in that regard. It'll basically, you try and run a section and then it just basically throws up an error and says, this is wrong, kind of thing. And then you got to look through the entire section of code. So I don't know if XML is, or the editor for XML does anything like that. If it actually like kind of gives you like, hey, this is what's broken, kind of thing, and you need to focus on this area to get it to work. But it's one of those kind of being able to. Wow, we still don't have contracts at 3 a.m. But being able to have just that one little thing that breaks, and then all of a sudden it takes everything that you have to like go through and figure out what's broken and go through everything. It can be very frustrating. Let's see. Crimea River, thank you, Silver Eagle, for the map you've done. Split Mountain Farm is beautiful layout. Love the mountains, the surround, the map. Bridge is awesome. I agree. And actually, I had brought up during the kind of dropout when I was bringing the map back up, I brought up the mod hub just so I could remind myself exactly what the map looked like, and I do remember liking that map. Let's see. Thank you, Crimea River. I'm thinking the map you're on might need an update. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing now. One of those, I wonder if the update that was recently put out is, breaking things. Who knows? Run it through a testing process. Okay, it's kind of like that in certain ways. Okay, that's cool. Oh man, this is kind of a bummer that it's throwing me so many curveballs here. Let's keep going until about 8 o'clock in the morning, and then again I might just back out again and bring it back in. I'm sorry, y'all. This is kind of a weird stream. I didn't expect it to do all this for whatever reason. It's really kind of giving me the runaround. Let's see, what is it doing? No contract still. So we are in May. This should be like harvest available. All right, that's close enough. Or no, we're not in harvest seasons. Okay, so that's June. That's when we'll start getting into harvest. But we should be getting like fertilizing contracts and weeding, and who knows what's going on with the weeding. Let's see. Okay, friend, gotta go to bed. Have a good. Hey, Silver Eagle, thank you so much for showing up, and thank you for entertaining my questions and whatnot tonight. I really do appreciate it. I got to learn a bit of the behind the scenes kind of thing. So I really do appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, and hope you have yourself a great night. And hopefully we'll see you back on some later live streams. Have a great night. All right, so let's see. I don't want to have to keep jumping in and out and throwing y'all into pause, but there's really not a whole lot of... Wait. There we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Hey. All right, well, let's see. We got silage. We got tedding. Okay, we got 2 tedding and a silage. So... And I got rid of all my baling equipment in the previous episode because we're going through the process of updating all of the equipment here on the farm. We want to be able to kind of have, more streamlined and better equipment, and not stuff that's just kind of ancient and falling apart. You can see 62% damage on this one, 80% damage on the harvester. It's going to be brutal, but let's see. So let's go ahead and accept these. So we've got this is going to the biogas plant, and it's a round baler with boop, 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 boop. Well, I really don't want to rent a whole bunch of equipment. I want to make money, so. But we've got time to kind of hang out and do the work, so that's okay. Let's see. So where's this one? So this is going to the big biogas plant, and this is 108. This is okay. I know exactly where this is. I think this is actually the first grass cutting contract we had when we first started doing the series. So anyways, I gotten distracted, talking with Silver Eagle. And Silver Eagle, thank you again so much for hopping in and, like I said, entertaining the kind of on-the-spot interview. Certainly was not expecting that to happen, but I greatly appreciate your time and being able to kind of answer those questions. It was very, very generous and kind of you to do that. But anyways, so I'd start talking about the things that have been, keeping me away these past, week and a half. It's been almost 2 weeks. I think the last stream that I posted was on the 7th, which would be 2 weeks from this coming Thursday. So yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to kind of hop on and hang out and see how everybody's doing. But so yeah, like I was saying, my wife and I were wanting to get out of the neighborhood that we're in. I started telling how, I grew up, out in the country kind of thing. Like I said, when I was up until 8 years old, lived on the remnants of my grandparents' farm. And that was, almost 300 acres worth of property to run around and do whatever I wanted. Cornfields, all around kind of thing, all around the house. It was amazing. I loved growing up there. And then after I was 8 years old and the whole family kind of came together, it was my father's side of the family. They all kind of owned this after my grandfather died, and they all wanted to subdivide and parcel out the land, and we were able to keep 12 acres, and my mother and father built a house on that 12 acres. And eventually, just before 2008, I think it was 2006, and the reason I know that is because of the big housing crash and all that stuff, and that was when the economy was really kind of, in the toilets, way back when. And my father kind of saw the writing on the walls before everything kind of really went bad, and we ended up moving to Florida. And it was very, very good timing, because shortly thereafter my father ended up leaving. He the company that he worked for was a big construction firm up in Michigan. They ended up going under just completely, and basically anybody who was working there just lost their jobs overnight. Hundreds of employees just gone. No job, nothing to fall back on, kind of thing. Just last checks and goodbye, kind of thing. And it was really wild when we heard that happen. Like I said, my dad, maybe got out a year before that happened, and at the same time, my uncle, my dad's brother, he worked at the same company, and so he had to go through all this stuff. And they had just built their house, so it was one of those, they were dealing with all the financial woes and worries, and thankfully they made it through. They were able to get into a different job and all that stuff, but to go through the stresses and all that stuff, and at the time he had two very small children at the time, my cousins, They were, well, actually, one of them was 3 months premature, so they were having to go through all that stuff, and if I remember correctly, she had to be in a incubator for a while, and because she wasn't fully formed, her lungs and all that stuff. So there was a lot of stuff they had to go through, and then going through the stresses of losing his job and all that stuff at the same time. It was a lot for them to go through, and thankfully they were able to make it through all that. But we had gotten out, about a year and a half before all that stuff started to happen, and then there was the big housing crash in '08. That really kind of sent everything into a tizzy, back in those times. And, we'd gotten very lucky in that regard. But, all that to say, long story short, is, that moved us, down here to Florida. I eventually, met my wife, and we had bought a place because at the time I was living with my parents, and it was one of those that just kind of had to do what I had to do. Just wasn't making enough at the time to be able to kind of move out on my own comfortably, and they didn't mind either. So it was just one of those that it kind of worked out for what it was, kind of thing. But we eventually, we had to move out. We had to get us some space of our own, and we ended up buying a house in the same kind of neighborhood as them. And long story short, we don't like the neighborhood. It's one of those, being from the country and whatnot. It's really hard for me to be kind of in the city, and a lot of people would be like, "Oh, well, where you're at's not the city." Well, compared to what I'm used to, it is, kind of thing. My closest neighbor is within a stone's throw of me, and actually, if I wanted to, I could look out my kitchen window and see my closest neighbors, see into their house, kind of thing. It's one of those that it personally just really bothers me. So we've been discussing and trying to figure out, can we safely move and, get into a new house? And we've been doing a lot of driving, going out on the weekends, trying to find areas that we like. And we just found an area that if I had my way, that would be the exact area that we move into, and either build a home, buy a home, whatever the case may be. So it's one of those that, between where we were at in the Let's Play, where the whole kind of map tours and map updates were coming out, and Giants was kind of releasing everything when they were, everything kind of getting taken up in my own kind of personal time, kind of thing. I was able to make content at night, but wasn't able to, reliably be able to say, hey, I can come on at this time at night, or whatever. And if I did, it would have been like really late at night, or for a very short amount of time, kind of thing. And I don't want to necessarily hop onto a live stream, hang out with everybody, and be like on for 20 minutes and be, okay, everybody, hey, how's it going, and then leave, kind of thing. I want to be able to produce something that is going to, be worth everybody's time, being able to come on and hang out and, kind of do all that stuff. So I felt that my time was better served for the content in the channel to then focus on the map tours, focus on the updates, and focus on the Let's Play itself. And that's why the last Let's Play was kind of done in the way it was done, is with the whole, car crash scenario. I wanted there to be kind of a good storytelling moment in it, kind of thing, be able to kind of do something that wasn't necessarily, in the norm, kind of thing. But at the same time, it's one of those, from the lack of contracts and the lack of kind of things that are going on in the game itself, basically kind of had to come up with something that was kind of out of the ordinary, kind of thing. So I hope that people enjoyed it. I hope it kind of worked for what it is. I know it's not technically farming simulator kind of thing, but it's one of those that I think that kind of switching it up and doing things that aren't necessarily a part of the norm, kind of not a part of the game, kind of breaks up the I don't want to call it monotony, but breaks up the kind of things that we see and kind of keeps things fresh, and I hope everybody out there kind of understands and agrees, kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on, in the background and whatnot. So, and you know what? This actually leads me to a good opportunity to do the member shout outs. Want to give all my tier 2 members a shout out. Thank you all so much for being tier 2 members. Crimea River, you are the original, and greatly appreciate you. You got this ball rolling and have been on for over 2 months now. That badge of yours is looking really good. I really enjoy seeing that, and I love seeing how it's growing, how the badge as you progress is going from, because you originally had the original rusted out badge, and then you went on to the little John Deere, and now you've got the little Massey there. So I absolutely love seeing how it's progressing along. So thank you for being the original. Thank you for being on as long as you have. I greatly appreciate it. Mark K, thank you so much for being a tier 2 member. You have not been on as long, but thank you very much for being there, and I look forward to continue to see you grow and progress on through the badges. And then the newest of the tier 2 members, Deco, thank you so much for being there and being the newest member of the channel, being the newest BDD farmhand. I greatly appreciate everybody who has signed up and has become a member just in general, but thank you, tier 2s. You are greatly appreciated. And if anybody else is out there who's interested in becoming a member, take a look at the join page on the main channel there. You got all sorts of perks, being able to get shouted out for tier 2 members, early access for all members. It's we got all sorts of different custom badges, custom emojis. As Crimea River, you just showed us one of the custom emojis there. I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, it's just, if you can, I greatly appreciate it. It is certainly not mandatory. It is certainly, that's, as I try and say every time when I bring up the memberships, it's one of those, I set it up in a very specific way as to not be exclusionary. I want everybody to have the same kind of content, as everybody else, so there's not, member exclusive content or anything like that. But it's one of those that I want to be able to, if you want to show your support of the channel and be able to, help the sustainability and the growth of this channel, then this is one of the ways that it can be done. So I greatly appreciate it. That's your favorite custom emoji, is that? Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. It's between that one and the wiggle bottoms. Is I can't tell which one is my favorite, just because it's such a kind of if you know kind of situation. If you're a follower of the channel and you know what the reference is, then it's very special, and it's very special to me, because it's something that, well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not that creative a person visually, so to see that there's things that have kind of organically risen from this channel and have kind of become a part of it. The wiggle bottom tractor is, the perfect example. We've also got the oh goodness, now I forgot, was it Jasper the ghost, the farmyard ghost? Oh my goodness, that to this day just makes me giggle like a little child. That was honestly, Crimea River, that's probably one of my favorite moments in live streaming, is that one right there. It's like, oh, well, we can't call it Casper. We just can't do that. Okay, then Jasper. And it's one of those. I've got a cousin who we grew up together. We're brothers more than cousins, and he is the quintessential smart A, to kind of keep it friendly. He's just a very very jokester kind of person, and that when you said that Crimea River, that just reminded me of him so much as something that he would do and say. It's like, okay, well, if you don't want Casper, then Jasper. And just the kind of the way that it kind of came up, I was rolling all night when I'd gotten off stream that night. I had a smile from ear to ear. Just I kept reliving that, and the first thing I did when I woke up in the morning, because obviously my wife, she goes to bed, uh, well before I do. I ended up, waking up with her the next morning and telling her, "Oh, you're not gonna believe what happened." And I explained the whole Jasper, the friendly ghost, and and we were just rolling. We were just having a really good laugh with it, and yeah, that's honestly one of my favorite moments is Jasper, and yeah, just all the kind of really cool organic things that have happened on this channel and that have kind of you know occurred as a result of it. I cherish deeply, and like I said, it's 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 good times. I have a lot of fun doing this and being able to hang out with everybody and whatnot. And like I said probably a couple of times now, I was really unsure. Oh, you know what? I should probably carry something else with me while I'm going out. Oh, yeah, I'll go ahead. No. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of humming and hawing and thinking I should take more equipment with me in one trip, but I won't. But anyways, what was I saying? I just distracted myself. Oh, but I wasn't sure how much or if I was going to do live streaming at all. And when I first started YouTube, I wasn't even planning on doing live streams. It was just not something that really necessarily interested me at the moment. And I didn't realize, you know, all the potential that was there, kind of thing. But then I started doing it. It's like, you know what? I'm going to try it, give it a whirl, see how it goes. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad, because then it gave me another avenue to kind of hang out and talk with everybody like yourself, Crimea River, and just everybody else who's, come on the stream. Silver Eagle tonight, Dust Bunny, and that's somebody I haven't seen in a while. That just kind of dawned on me, is Dust Bunny. I hope Dust Bunny, if you're out there and you hear this, I hope that we get to see you again soon. Hope things are going great for you. And actually, funny story, I'm going to go on a little tangent here regarding Dust Bunny. I just so happened to catch Mr. Sealy P. I ended up watching a couple of their Frontier live stream, Let's Plays. And he had actually mentioned Dust Bunny on his live stream. And I was so excited for her. Like, I was just sitting there thinking, it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, to get a shout out from somebody like Mr. Sealy P. I thought that was really cool, to be able to kind of to hear that. So, and I don't think there's another Dust Bunny out in the whole kind of the whole farming simulator community who, I don't think there's two of them running around. I could be wrong, of course, and very often am wrong. So I hope it's the same Dust Bunny, and I just thought that was cool. It was kind of entertaining. But yeah, anyways, hope everything's going well with Dust Bunny, and hope we get to see her again here soon on the channel. Let's see. But yeah, no, it's just I've been having an absolute ball, absolute ball. And when I saw that no new mods dropped this morning, and be able to kind of schedule the live stream, I was so excited to be able to come on and do the live stream. I was about 12 o'clock hit my time, and typically that's about the cutoff of when I notice that the latest the mods will drop for the mod hub and whatnot. So that's typically the time where I'd be like, okay, if I don't see anything by 12 o'clock my time, that's the kind of go ahead to be able to set up a live stream if I'm in a place in the Let's Play to be able to set it up, kind of thing. So when I saw that that was happening, I'm like, oh yeah, and I was excited. I've been excited all day, being able to come on here, hang out with everybody, and see how things have been going, kind of catch up with everybody. Um, so like I said, Crimea River, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good, and I'm glad to hear that the weather's finally starting to break. Hopefully that offers you a bit of relief and be able to kind of, you know, go a bit easier for you. I know that hot weather you said is really hard on you, so I'm glad that is finally kind of, you know, cutting you a break there. Let's see, there we go. Let me go ahead and catch up with the. Last time she was on was talking about selling her. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh, that's right. Well, hopefully that's going well for her. Yeah, so she's probably like super busy trying to get everything all, lined up and ready to go. Like I said, so that was something that we ended up doing as well. As we ended up meeting with a realtor to discuss the possibilities of our home and be able to figure out what, if anything, they thought we'd have to do to it to be able to put it on the market to sell and all that stuff. And thankfully, when we bought this home, it was a fixer upper, and I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this house to make it what it is now. And this house it was built in the 80s. I think it was built in the 80s, and it had not received an update since the 80s, kind of thing. It had the wallpaper was from the 80s. I mean, honestly, the wallpaper might have looked like it was from the 70s, kind of that kind of Art Deco kind of wallpaper that was on the walls. Yeah, just everything was just very much dated and whatnot. And I ended up doing a lot of the work to be able to get it to where it is now. And thankfully the realtors are like, no, this place looks fantastic. It's not what we were expecting to see when we first walked in, because unfortunately the outside of the home doesn't look as good as the inside does. I need to go and because I've been so busy here lately, need to go out and plant some plants and kind of make the outside look a little bit more appealing than the inside. So it's one of those that they said, oh no, that's not necessary, because you're going to have homeowner or home buyers who are going to want the place to be able to put in the things that they want to put in. And it makes sense, but it's one of those, like, I also don't want to just have it be kind of blah kind of thing. I want to be able to make it look kind of appealing and have that curb appeal kind of thing too. So it's one of those, I trust what the realtor is saying, but at the same time, because I don't know them personally, I trust that they know what they're talking about, but I don't know if they're saying that just to kind of make it easier, quicker to sell kind of thing. I don't know. Just kind of goes against everything that I would have thought would have been kind of selling points to any home. Make sure it has curb appeal, make sure that it is nice and fresh inside, that it's painted, freshly painted. If you can have carpets within, or if you have carpets in the home, make sure that they're clean or at minimum been replaced within the past few years, kind of thing. So it's one of those that they didn't seem too bothered with anything in the home. So who knows, and I've never sold a home before, so it's one of those that I'm only going off of things I've seen off of the kind of home and garden television kind of thing. It's like, oh well, I've got to do this, got to do that, and well, it might be just all the stuff you see on TV kind of thing. Can't believe everything that you see on the TV and on the internet. There we go. Get that going. And then the baler. Perfect. But yeah, I really hope everything's going good for her. It's one of those that, like I said, I'm really nervous to kind of make the leap to potentially sell the house and to try and get into something else. And it would be a bigger place too. So it's one of those. Um, the house that we live in now, we got it specifically because if for some reason I were to lose my job or if my wife lost her job, we'd be able to easily afford it and all of our bills and all that stuff on one income kind of thing. It was the whole kind of point that we got it. And obviously we got it when we were just the two of us kind of thing. We weren't, you know, well, we were obviously planning for children and whatnot, but then we kind of ran into issues in that front, and we weren't able to have children right away. We actually had to go through a lot of hardship, and had to go through IVF and all that stuff to be able to get our firstborn daughter, and so it's one of those that with what am I doing? That's what I'm doing. With everything that was kind of going on in that front, we kind of, played it safe, kind of thing, and that was the kind of whole reason that we got into this place is that it kind of allowed us to be able to not only easily afford everything, but then if we wanted to kind of, be able to afford to go on vacations or to have extra money to kind of do things and play around and whatnot. But now that we have our firstborn daughter, it's one of those that I don't want her to live in the area that we live in. I don't want to live there. I don't want her to grow up in this area. Unfortunately, the homeless population is really starting to take over in this area. In the county that I live in, they get a lot of benefits for being homeless, and it's one of those that they kind of flock to this area. So it's really bad that like every morning I'll be letting the dogs out and whatnot, and there'll be somebody passed out. Like, I've had this happen. I've had somebody passed out drunk, in my front yard, kind of thing. And actually, it was a very kind of wild kind of story. So I've got a brother-in-law. Well, technically he's not my brother-in-law, but to us he's family. So it's one of those, he's the father of my nieces, and he came over one day to pick up his daughters. It was either pick up his daughters or drop something off, I can't remember what. And all of a sudden he came on, he came into the house, he's like, you got a dead body out in the front of your yard? And it was like maybe 11 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning kind of thing. It was still relatively early, and he's like, and I'm like, excuse me? Like, he's like, there's a body in the front of your house, like in your bushes. And I'm like, you're messing with me. You're just. And he's kind of a jokester kind of thing too, but it's one of those. He's like, no, I'm not joking. There's a body in your yard. So I go out there, and not knowing what I'm going to find. I went out there armed because I don't know what the heck's going on. And sure enough, I see feet and boots sticking out of our... we've got this kind of palm bush. They call them cabbage palm. And sure enough, there were feet just hanging out of the cabbage palm. I didn't know what to do. So I ended up kicking the feet. Like screaming and kicking the feet. It's like, hey, are you okay? And they moved. They ended up moving. So it's like, okay, well, at least it's not a body, it's a person. So I was like, kicking their feet. And it's like, hey, you like get out of my yard, kind of thing. And they ended up getting up, and they ended up apparently crawling home from a bar or something is what they were trying to say, I think. They drank too much, and they ended up walking home, and they just fell over in the yard, and that's where they slept the night. But I don't know how long they were out there. I don't know. I don't know anything. I just don't know. And it was just kind of a, where did that other bale go? Oh, there it is over there. Yeah, see, I shouldn't be bailing in this direction. I should be trying side for side, but I didn't. Ugh. Rolling, rolling, rolling. There that bale is going. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Bale gone. Oh, goodness. But anyways, so they ended up, waking up, and they apologized, and they started, fumbling off my property, and that's when I realized, like, I looked down at them, and they were just covered in, they had wetted themselves, they had messed up their trousers, like they had pooped themselves. And it was just like that was when it like really started hitting home that there is a timeline on this place. Like, I've got to get out of here. And now that I've got a daughter, and I need to think about not only my wife and myself and what things that we want, but I need to also think about what's best for her. And getting her out of this area is a huge priority for me. And like I said, growing up the way I grew up and whatnot, that's what I want to get back to. I cherish those memories of being out in the middle of nowhere, being able to just go exploring when I was older, kind of thing, and just growing up in a small town, kind of thing. Being for many years just being ignorant and being a child, and I don't think that a lot of people get to let their kids be children anymore. I think too many people are out there trying to make your kids into adults in so many different ways that being out in the country, I feel like, would be a very good way of avoiding those possibilities. Being in a small town, being in an area where I know, where your neighbors, where the people that live the closest to you, and having a sense of community. I don't feel like you get that in the cities. I feel like people pretend to have communities. That might not be fair, but I feel like there's more opportunities to know people in cities, but less people know each other. Like, you spend more time trying to avoid each other than you do actually getting to know anybody around you. And where I grew up, not only did I know just about everybody who lived in the town I grew up in, because I either went to school with them or whatever, but they knew me. And not only did they know me, they knew my family, they knew pretty much, like, they knew not everything, but they knew a good amount of me and the kind of work that we did in the area, kind of thing. So it was one of those, we were, very well respected family, kind of thing. And it's now one of those where, like I said, because I live in the city, it's one of those that I know one of my neighbors by name. And that's only by sheer coincidence do I even know their name. I've maybe said... Actually, you know what? That's not true. We actually had a long-ish talk a while ago, because one day, for some weird reason, a bunch of cops just showed up at my home for one reason or another, and uh, we weren't home at the time, so all of our curtains were shut and whatnot. So they were shining flashlights into our home, and I got them on camera because, again, being in the city, I've got cameras all around my home and whatnot. So I got them on camera, and I ended up calling to figure out, what was going on. It's like, hey, why are you trying to, get my attention at my home, kind of thing. And it turns out that they had something going on with one of the neighbors down the street, and they wanted to ask questions, if I knew anything. And again, because I don't know any of my neighbors and whatnot, it's one of those that I very honestly said, no, I have no idea anything about them or who they are, kind of thing. So, sorry, can't help, kind of thing. So, and I don't even know why they were even inquiring about them, which, kind of also makes me nervous to say, hey, why are the cops, so interested in, somebody who lives just down the street from me, kind of thing. Is it something that I need to worry about, for my wife's sake, my daughter's sake, kind of thing. So, at the end of the day, it's one of those that it's time, and I feel that it's what's best for myself, my wife, my daughter. And yeah, it's also one of those things too that when you, when you live out where, like where I grew up, where you have some property and you have the uh, the kind of knowledge of, who people are. If somebody just shows up onto your property, kind of thing, it's one of those situations where you take action first and you ask questions later, kind of thing. If somebody shows up on your property, and what I mean by that is it's somebody's coming onto your property, one of those things. Oh, hey. Um, they need to have an excellent reason as to why they're there. It's like, it's very rare that you're going to get people who are just going to show up to uh like kind of sell you things or anything like that. You're not going to get the random like Jehovah's Witness on your doorstep, kind of thing, to where you're kind of did it drop down? Yes, it did. Okay. So it's just one of those that it's a lot quieter, it's a lot slower paced and whatnot. The only thing that kind of worries me, which comes back to, the channel and all that stuff, is making sure that I find that kind of happy medium of being out in the country where I want to be, but not so into the country to where I don't have any good internet, kind of thing. Because I want to be able to continue to do what I'm doing here. I want to be able to continue the channel, and obviously I need internet because I work remotely. So it's one of those that I kind of need to be able to continue to work and put food on the table. So there we go. That's what I'm trying to get a hold of. But it's just one of those that at the end of the day, it's going to be a kind of balancing act of, whoa, what just happened there? It's going to be a balancing act of getting out into the area that I want, while at the same time being able to keep with kind of the modern conveniences that are available. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what I'm looking at, and that's what's kind of kept me away for the past week and a half. So, like I said, I apologize for being away and not being as able to, hop on the live streams and whatnot. It's life. Life happens. Let's see. Let me catch up with what everyone's saying. Crimea River, hearing your story, it's time to get y'all out of there. where I live, I'm surrounded by woods. Oh, now see that's the dream. That's what I want right there. You know, so uh, I just I want there to be peace and quiet, and I'm sure that that people have heard, you know, in the background from time to time, where I'm recording something, and then all of a sudden you'll hear either music just playing in the background from somebody just driving down the street, and they got the obnoxiously loud sound system, or you know somebody with hot rod sports car comes, you know, blazing through, because we live on a street where there's like a through street. It connects with two separate roads, kind of thing. So it's one of those that we get a lot of cross traffic where I'm at. So it's one of those that, yeah, at the end of the day, just I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it. I'm trying my best to, like I said, I'm trying really hard to be successful at work, be successful here on YouTube. Um, you know, that's why this honestly the motivation of working so hard, doing all the map tours, doing all the and doing them as quick as I can, staying up until 2, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes, you know, to get out the content, to be able to you know, hopefully one day make something of this, you know, to be able to get out and do what it is that I'd love to do for myself and my family. But you know, keep my fingers crossed, keep working hard, and I know one day it'll work out. One day it'll happen. Just hope that we get there. Let's see, Jody. Hey, Jody, how's it going? Glad that you're able to make it. Let's see, how's your day? Day's going really good so far. Really good. How about yourself? Uh, Real life conference. Yes, yes. That's basically what's been going on. But I tell you what, everybody, can you hold on just 1 second? I need to deal with something real quick. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. All right, so sorry about that. Wife's getting ready to go to bed and came give me a kiss goodnight. But oh, let me bring the chat back up so I can see what everyone's saying. Yeah, so that's what's been going on and whatnot. So hopefully things kind of, you know, settled down for the most part. I know Giants, is it Tuesday or Thursday? Might be tomorrow actually. They've got the new DLC that's getting ready to release, the Oxbow pack. Um, you know, so typically on those days you'll see, you know, a bunch of, not only a bunch of, you know, mods because of the DLC, but you'll see a bunch of stuff released too. So it's possible that we'll see a bunch of mods and stuff that are, you know, kind of going from there. Yeah, 5G internet. Okay. And what do you think of that? The 5G, is it good and stable? Because the, well, actually no, because what we had when we were up in Michigan, out in the country, we had the original version of satellite internet. I think it's compared to like HughesNet now. Uh, it used to be like Direct TV way back in the day, and that anytime that you had a cloudy day, it would just go out, kind of things. You'd lose internet and all that stuff. So, but now that, I mean, there's so many different things out there nowadays. There's the 5G internet. There's um, well, I mean, there's Elon Musk's thing. What is that? Starlink. There's Starlink out there, and from what I understand, there's streamers and stuff out there that I'm aware of who use Starlink. And I guess you can piggyback or something using Starlink. Like you can basically have two routers and they work together in series to be able to increase the speed of your internet or the strength of it. I'm not 100% sure about how all that works, but it's yeah. I mean, there's options. So really, it's one of those. It really doesn't matter where you live nowadays, uh, which is cool. I think that's really awesome. Being able to really kind of open up the possibilities, kind of thing. Let's see. Um, how's the farm going tonight? So far so well. Actually, you know what? Not that great. Jody, you missed a whole bunch of drama at the very beginning of the stream here. Um, so yeah, it was one of those. When we first got on, I had several contracts ready and ready to go, ready for me to work on. I had 2 weeding contracts and a fertilizing contract. And I went and did the fertilizing contract, got that done super fast. Well, then I went to work on the weeding contract, and for some reason the weeding contract wouldn't work. I couldn't get any of the weeding done. I tried resetting the map. I tried uh, getting it to where it would just work, and nothing worked. Like, was just stuck. So I ended up just purposely failing the contracts to see, well, not to see, but to just get it off this screen and whatnot. And then of course, no other contracts were available. So I ended up skipping ahead in time. We're now in May. So if you are keeping up with the series, it's like, hey, weren't you just in April? Well, that's why. We had no contract to work on during the live stream. And I didn't want a 10-minute live stream. I actually wanted to come out and hang out with people. And I missed being around for the week and a half that we were gone. So yeah, so I ended up skipping ahead to May, and we finally got some baling contracts. So I think we got an extra fertilizing contract. We ended up completing that. And as you can see, we're almost up to what, 400,000. Come on, pick it up. There we go. Almost up to $400,000. So it's one of those that we're we were given lemons at first, but we're making lemonade now. Let's see. Haven't had any trouble with it, even during storms. You know that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. That certainly makes me hopeful that something like that, even if we get like really far out in the middle of nowhere, that there's still options available to me. Uh, Carolina Connect. Okay. Yeah. So, oh, Jody, you have Spectrum. Okay, we have Spectrum around here too. Um, yeah, I can remember actually way back in the day when they used to be Bright House. Way back when, but they ended up. I think Spectrum bought Bright House and ended up going under their name. So, but I'm glad to hear that. It sounds like the technology has come a long way since when we had it. Like I said, when we had it, was HughesNet, and it was actually I think they eventually became HughesNet, but it was DirecTV, and it was slow. Like it was a barely a step above dial-up. That's how long ago it was, and it was a considerable, at the time, it was like the latest and greatest kind of thing. It was the thing just immediately after dial-up. Especially out in our neck of the woods. I mean, there was things like DSL, and there was what was it? There was cable and there was DSL, but there wasn't anything for people like me out in the middle of nowhere, kind of thing. And then DirecTV started doing the satellite TV, but like I said, pretty much anytime the wind blew, the signal would go out and you would lose connectivity, kind of thing. So it was one of those that we at the same time we had that, we also had dial-up at the same time, kind of thing. So we would like literally just kind of whenever the HughesNet would go down, we'd just dial up to the phone and, you know, listen to that obnoxious AOL connection and go from there. Oh man, that's a blast from the past. I haven't thought about that in many years. Holy smokes! Do y'all remember that AOL, that burr burr burr, that dial-up connection sound? It's almost as obnoxious as the car security alarms. That beep beep whoop beep beep. Oh goodness. A crazy stream is a good stream. You know what? I agree. I agree with that. It's one of those that and you ended up missing Silver Eagle. Silver Eagle, the map maker of uh, Split Mountain Split Mountain Farm, was on for a little while, and they were able to answer a bunch of questions and whatnot, and they were very gracious on kind of turning this from a live stream into an interview, which was you know, I greatly appreciate. That was really kind of cool. But yeah, we got to ask a whole bunch of questions about you know, what it is to make a map, and it blows me away. It absolutely blows me away that it took over a year. Split Mountain Ranch. I'm sorry, I said Split Mountain Farm, but Split Mountain Ranch took them a year to make that map with all the updates and whatnot. So, I mean, the amount of dedication that it takes is just incredible, and like that reinvigorated me and gave me a whole new respect for all map makers, you know, big and small, kind of thing. To think that, you know, they spend that amount of time to bring us just entertainment is just incredible. Let's see, Crimea River. I don't miss dial-up. No, not at all. Holy smokes! It's one of those that dial-up was a great thing at the time. You know, as a kind of pre-runner to, you know, not the pre-runner, but the kind of opening salvo for the internet kind of thing. It was an amazing starting point. But when it went the way of the dodo, it was, oh, hello. It was a good thing. It was a very good thing. Probably be a good thing if I pinch these a little bit tighter, huh? There we go. That's how those things work. Open these up. For the longest time, I used to really despise these carriers. I used to really not like them. And then one day, I don't know why, but then I all of a sudden realized that you can actually expand and contract these little bars, and it makes it so much easier. So much easier. Like, it's still a pain and a nuisance to use, especially like these ones in reverse, because you got to think backwards kind of thing. But it's one of those, once you realize that, hey, these can kind of expand and contract, it makes them so much easier to use. Alright, well, now we got running around to do. Oh, hey, it's right over here. Well, that's easy. Let's see. Yeah, so right now I'm doing a contract. Yeah, so everything I was doing before, the weeding and all that, all those were contracts. And yeah, I'm doing contract right now. I'm taking the silage bales here, and I'm taking them up to the biogas. Ooh, open up. Oh, there it is, right over there. Oh, hello. I don't think I've actually ever been to this biogas plant yet. This will be the first. Let's see. Nope. Drop that down. Open this up. Come on. Hiya! Hiya! There we go. Sometimes you just need a little bit of force. Or as Jeremy Clarkson say, power! Oh, goodness. Oh dear, oh dear, oh no, 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 no. Come on. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do that, don't do that. There we go. I did it. Let's see. Satellite TV, or wait, satellite TV is awful. Yes, yes, satellite TV. That's something that I haven't had in years. Years. It was so expensive. And really, once things like Netflix and things like Netflix, I think that it really had the opportunity to really put a stranglehold and kill off satellite TV. Now, what revived and saved satellite TV, in my opinion, was the fact that then everybody jumped into streaming like Netflix. Everybody really kind of went heavy on it, and what ended up happening is that everybody made their content proprietary to whatever network or whatever was at hand, and then you had to buy 20 different streaming services to be able to have the content that you had before, kind of thing, to where when everything used to be on Netflix, or at least back when Netflix was decent, they had tons of content, and they would be able to like really make it like a one-stop shop kind of thing. And then eventually they either started letting things elapse, or they just didn't renew, or whatever the case may be. And now it's just, I think now personally Netflix is dead. I think that a lot of these places are just, the market is so overly saturated that it's just not worth it anymore. And you might as well just go back to satellite TV, or do what I do. If you've got the money and the resources to do it, get yourself a Plex server. I will not speak highly enough of Plex. So what Plex is, for those who don't know, it's your own streaming service, to where you basically have like your DVDs or whatnot, like your home personal movies. You can scan them onto your server, and then it becomes Netflix. It becomes, Disney Plus, or whatever streaming service that you have, kind of thing. It basically replaces all of those and makes it your own, from your own content. And that's what I do now. Is I use Plex for pretty much all the stuff that I want to have access to, and still have it as convenient as Netflix and Hulu and all the other ones that are out there. So, a little plug for Plex. They're not a sponsor, but hey, when there's a good product out there that I like, I will give them the shout out. Open and slide. No! Why are you doing this to me? Wow. Really? 8 bales is all it took to complete that contract. Okay. So let me think. If if I should I sell these or should I store these? You know what? Let me see how many I have over here, because or you know what? I could take these over to my biogas plant. Ooh. That might not be a bad idea. How many? Wow. Wow. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right. Let me know what you all think of this. So we just got rid of 8 bales to complete the contract. And like I said, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We have more bales to keep than we had to deliver. Does that sound right to anybody else? That just seems really wrong to me. To have 12 bales. Like, I could understand 4 or 5 bales to keep. Maybe half as much as what you had to give away or to complete the contract, kind of thing. But I have as many and half again. It just, Anyways, you know what? I'm not going to complain. It is what it is. It is what it is. I didn't make the game. I didn't make the map. I'm going to nod and smile. Oh no, I forgot about that. I forgot I got rid of my... So I came back here to grab my bale loader, and I completely forgot in the last episode I got rid of it. Oops. Let me think. How many hay bales do I have over here? Whoa. Why, hello. What are you doing here? I'll take that. Let's see. That sounds cool. That's what I need to do. What's going to be your next map? Honestly, right now, I have no idea. We're about 10 episodes in, so we still got plenty of life on this Let's Play. But there has been a couple of maps that recently released that I am interested in. And actually, it was Crimea River that kind of pointed out in a comment that she made, potentially the next Let's Play. And oh goodness, I can't remember which one it is. Crimea River, remind me if you remember, because I can't off the top of my head. But yeah, we had been talking back and forth in comments, and it was in the map tour kind of comments. So yeah, that didn't make any sense to y'all either. But I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna raise a fuss about it. Let's see. Oh nope, that is open. Well, let's see. So we're gonna have at least 2 trips. Well, 2.5 technically. No, stop it. There we go. There we go. Close this. Lift and open. But, yeah, it's one of those where I don't necessarily want to start thinking too long and hard about the next map kind of thing, because I don't know what's gonna open up between here and there kind of thing. So it could be oh, I want to say, oh well, this is the map that's going to be the next one kind of thing, and then all of a sudden a new one kind of loads, and it completely blows that map out of the water, kind of thing. So it's one of those that there's a couple that are certainly in the running, that are in contention, but certainly nothing that I would say, yep, this is it. This is what we're gonna do next, kind of thing. But who knows? It's Oh, but that also reminds me. So I'd made mention earlier how I started watching Mr. Sealy P, uh, and their Let's Play on Frontier, and I'm kind of seeing how they're going about the whole music issue. So there's tons of Zero Ito maps um, that I would love to do a Let's Play. Pretty much any Zero Ito map, I would love to do a Let's Play on right now. Black River, Green Valley, Frontier. I mean, there's so many. Like, I wouldn't do one on Frontier because Mr. CLP is doing one, and I've tried to. Uh, I try to avoid a lot of the big YouTubers and what maps they're doing, so I can kind of set myself apart. There was one exception to that, and that was when the Platinum Edition DLC came out. That one I ended up doing the. Oops, this is not where I intended to turn. Um, that's the one where I did the uh, Silver Run Forest, is because it was brand new and I wanted to see all the cool features and everything that was kind of a part of it. So I was a little bit late to the game on that one, but I was still, in the same relative time span as everyone else. Let's see, we'll head this way, up this road. Oh, hey, there's a pole right there. I totally forgot which map. Yeah, see, me too. I could probably grab my phone and look through it, but then it wouldn't be that entertaining of a stream at that point. But it's gonna drive me nuts, so it's probably gonna be one of the first things I do as soon as we get off the stream tonight is go and hop on my phone and figure out which comment you left that on to. Court Farm, you know what? That might have been it. Remind me again, Joe. Crimea River. Was it? Do you remember which map maker that was? Who did Court Farm? I can't remember off the top of my head. Was that? Was that? Oh, I don't want to say. Was that Oxygen David? Was that their map? Hey, Helium Deer. We're seeing all the fun stuff today. We're seeing Helium Deer. We're getting weed glitching. Let's see. Turn there. What's some of your favorite maps in FS22? So I've got a really big liking for a lot of the Zero Ito maps. So like I mentioned before, there's Green Valley, there's Frontier, Black River, like pretty much any Zero Ito map I really, really like. And a lot of that boils down to the insane amount of details that are on those maps that you don't find on a lot of other map makers' maps. Let's see. Let's open this up. Ooh. Well, nope. No. Well. Oh, you know what? What am I thinking? I can just go get my My palette forks. What am I doing? Why do I do the things that I do sometimes? But, yes, it is Oxygen David. Okay, okay. So yeah, that one definitely is in the running. Absolutely. There's also American Falls by Lancey Boy. That one's also in the running. Um, yeah, like I said, it's just one of those that because we're so early into this Let's Play, we're only 10 episodes in right now. It's one of those that so many different maps could come between now and then that I don't want to be like, oh yeah, well this is definitely going to be the one kind of thing. So look forward to that kind of thing, and then something new comes up, and then kind of bumps it off the list. I'm also kicking around Galgenberg as another map. That's another one that I keep getting drawn back to. I keep seeing all the updates and stuff that are getting done for that map, and I'm like, ooh, that could be a good one to do. It's got a lot of unique features that you don't see on a lot of other maps, so that could be one. I think that one's done by Yogi, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that one, though. Don't quote me on that one. Yeah, Valley Old Farm is such a good map. Such a good map. Yeah, Black Sheep Modding is also another modder and map maker that I really, really like. They do a lot of really good ones. They just released the... What was the one they just released here recently? That one kind of shocked me. That I didn't hear anything about that one, so it kind of came as a surprise when I saw it came out. Now I'm curious. I can't remember what it's called. No, we want to go this way. But yeah, Court Farm by Oxygen David. That one reminds me so much of Calmson Farm. And that map I absolutely love. And that one also is in the running for a Let's Play series. But what worries me about doing a Let's Play series on like Calmson Farm is that every single field is massive. It's absolutely massive, which means that every single contract, every single thing is going to take ages to do. And it worries me to be on a map with that much like field space, because then I would be afraid that there would be gaps in between like Let's Play series. Like there would be days in which I would need, but you know what, of course that would just mean more opportunities for live streams. I didn't think about it like that. So the story might take longer to put out, but the live streams would be available. Campaign of France. Yes, that's the one by Black Sheep. Yes, that's the... So that one, like I said, that one really surprised me when that came out, because I wasn't... I'd seen it on the mod list, on the in testing list, but I didn't realize that one was by Black Sheep. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, well, that was just a nice little surprise. Close that. Close this. That'll probably help if I turn the right way. Nope. Reverse. And close. Perfect. All right. That worked out nicely. You know what, Jody? I love it too. I I've said this numerous times that this is the best community that I've ever seen. I think that we have such a positive aura going, like a positive vibe, going in this on this channel, in this on these live streams, that it really like invigorates me. And like I said, when I was mentioning this earlier, I don't think you were around at this point, um, but it leaves me really. I was really longing to come back and do the live streams, kind of thing. But so many circumstances came up that just kept pushing off the live stream, pushing off. And I had mentioned earlier, there was a part of me that didn't want to do live streams uh, before I started doing them. It was one of those that I almost fought it tooth and nail, kind of thing. It's like, no, I don't want to, or I don't think it would be beneficial for me and my channel, and all this stuff. And then uh, I ended up talking to my brother-in-law, who also does YouTube, and he's like, "No, man, you should do it. You should do it. It gives you a good opportunity to kind of talk to your audience and kind of hang out with people, and be able to have another avenue of content and all that." So he was sitting there, kind of ensuring me that this would be like a really kind of a positive, good thing to do, kind of thing. And I'll be honest with you, what left me so hesitant at the beginning was a long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. I used to play games online. Like, I used to go out and like do the Call of Duties, and I used to play like EA NHL, online and all that stuff. And you get into those kind of things, and you really run into some really just not good people, and a lot of it's that kind of competitive, like, nature kind of thing, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with being competitive and whatnot. I think healthy uh, competitive drive is a good thing. But the problem that you run into with like gaming online and stuff like that is you get a lot of people who just take it way too far and way too seriously. Like, at the end of the day, you're playing a game, and just calm down, kind of thing. And yeah, it was just one of those where I let those kind of experiences kind of taint what this could be, kind of thing. And I couldn't get out of my own headspace to realize that, no, this is like a whole different situation, a whole different thing. And I'm so glad that I listened to my brother-in-law, that I listened to his advice and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, I got to meet amazing people like yourselves, and really got to open myself up to some new experiences. And yeah, it's just a great community, uh, great way to be able to just interact with people, and like I said, just kind of build the kind of you know open, there we go, build the kind of relationship that we've been building over these past several months, kind of thing, and the kind of continuation and extension of what this channel is, and what we're trying to drive this channel to be, kind of thing. So at the end of the day, it's a great place to be, great people to interact with, and to just have some great conversations, to be able to just have some back and forths, and see how everyone's been doing, how their day's been going, how their week's been going, kind of thing. And it was a lot of experience that I never realized was going to happen, kind of thing. So it's one of those. Really, really glad. Really glad. Let's see. Uh, Jody, you make it awesome. 100%. Everybody does. All of you do. You know, it's one of those things that when we all get together and we're able to kind of hang out and just kind of do our thing, then yeah, it's just a wonderful experience and makes a great community. And what's amazing about it as well is the ability to be able to bring more and more people into that community, to bring, you know, more people who are just have a love of this game, who are just wanting to just hang out and just, whether it's to talk about the game, whether it's not to talk about the game. Like I said, you know, we went on talking about, you know, all the things that have been going on in my personal life, you know, for what, 30-40 minutes, you know, probably total on this stream kind of thing, just to kind of fill people in as to what's going on, you know, why the content on the live streams was so sporadic. I mean, that's the great thing, is we don't have to just talk about Farming Simulator. You know, even though there's plenty to talk about Farming Simulator about, especially with the new DLC coming out. You know, can't remember if it's tomorrow or Thursday. I can't remember. I think it's Thursday. Or no. Is it tomorrow? Again, there's about 5 or 6 things now that I have to look up and figure out, you know, what's what, because I keep let's see. Thank you, Cry. Whoa, hey, there's a car. 12 mods to download on the map Galgenberg. Yeah, so that's the only. That's typically one of the things I look out for when doing a Let's Play series and whatnot, is it not having a ton of mods, but there's just something about that map that I find very special. Galgenberg. And I really kind of felt it when I first did the map tour, and I was really drawn to it when I did that map tour. And I can't even necessarily put my finger on it in a meaningful way to be able to articulate it, but it just had that kind of rush, that kind of spark. And I'm sure everybody understands what it is I mean by that. That feeling that you get when you go onto a map for the first time and you're like, ooh, this just struck a nerve, or this just did something for me, kind of thing. And that Galgenberg, when I first did the map tour on that, it really did strike a nerve. It really did touch something with me. And it's one of those that for the longest time I'd been wanting to do a map tour, or a series on it, but between its size and between its number of mods that are required for it, I just haven't had the inkling to really commit to it, kind of thing. So it's one of those that I want to, but at the same time just kind of unsure about it. Let's see. You make people feel welcome. Yes, he does, Jody. Well, I appreciate that, and that's what like I said, that's what I shoot for with this. Is it's a place to come out and hang out for everybody, you know. And I'm sure that one of these days, I'm absolutely convinced, because it's the internet, you know, kind of thing, that somebody will eventually come along that will kind of challenge the way that this channel is, kind of thing. And what I mean by that is just somebody who is not wanting to be a part of the community, but somebody who's just there to either antagonize or just be kind of a disturber, kind of thing. You know, everybody's I'm sure very familiar with the archetype that I'm talking about, but it's something that thankfully up until this point I've not had to deal with to any great extent. I've had to deal with, you know, quote unquote hecklers or, you know, things like that, but not anything that I've been like, oh dear goodness, I don't want to do this anymore, and, you know, kind of thing. No, it's nothing along those lines. Like, I think the worst thing I had is somebody basically poking fun that I didn't articulate myself in a map tour too well, kind of thing. It was one of those that they just didn't. I was at a loss for words, and I think their comment was, "Oh, you should read more books" or something like that. And it's like, well, I mean, in all fairness, I read just fine. It's just that particular moment in time, I was at a loss for words. Just couldn't come up with the right string. And as we all know, English is hard, as I famously say. So one of those that moment will come, but it's one of those things too that I'm a big boy. I can deal with people's silliness. You know, I don't sway too easy, kind of thing. So it's one of those that and and really oftentimes when somebody comes around and acts a fool like that, they how do I want to say this? Well, well, making myself not sound like a sound awful. If somebody comes around, whether on the internet or in real life and kind of thing, and they try to either intimidate me or whatnot, that's when I tend to dig my heels into the dirt. That's when I tend to get kind of, um, I don't know, is obstinate the right word? Steadfast is probably the better way to put it. I just dig my heels in. It's like, nope, I am now a tree. I am not moving from this spot. This is the hill I'm dying on, kind of thing. Just because, you know, you didn't approach the situation in a good way, kind of thing. Like my wife will very much tell you that, and she's seen this many times where I can get very hard headed. Now, if it's a situation where I'm in the wrong or something, then I tend to back off very quickly. You know, especially if my wife, if she points out, it's like, hey, you might not be, you know, the you might not be as right as you think you are on this, and then it leads me to like re-examine a position or something. But no, if somebody comes around and is hostile, then that just kind of invigorates me to just do whatever it is I'm doing, at, almost out of spite, kind of thing. Not again. I don't want it to sound like I'm, you know, going to do something just to be a jerk about it, but I don't know. I hope that that what I'm saying is making sense and not just coming off as, you know, bullish. Let's see. I'm playing NFL Madden. Oh, how's that going so far? Um, I'll be honest with you. It was actually here recently where I pretty much wrote off EA in their entirety. Now, don't get me wrong. I love sports. I love hockey, hockey in particular. But EA just they burned every bridge with me personally. Um, but I'm curious in how the new Madden is. They tend to do a lot better with Madden series than they do with, you know, some of their other, like their NHL series and whatnot. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for those who play the Madden series, but unfortunately for, you know, somebody like me who will get it on occasion, but not always. Let's see, open this up. All right, perfect. Now let's go ahead and collect. Nope, I'm in the wrong screen. And Now, fun fact for those who don't know, you do not need a bale spike in order to pick up bales. You can skewer them with pallet forks. So, no need for two different sets of equipment when you got these that'll do the same exact job. Let's see, so skewer. Oh, helps when you have the collisions turned on. Activate collisions. Wait a minute. Oh, come on, I was just saying how... What is going on here? Well, it's been one of those streams. It has been one of those streams where I always use pallet forks to pick up bales. I've never not had that work. Now, this is the CSZ pack, or... Wow, Mr. Ziggly P just came channeling out there. I am American, I don't say Zed. The CSZ pack. Whew, doggies. I don't know why I just said that. Anyways, I've always used pallet forks to pick up... What? What is happening? Nope, nope, nope. Okay, you know what? As long as it's not going out, like, through the floor... I have no idea what's happening there. Alright, we're gonna run to the shop real quick and pick up, You know what? I could just pick up the... Yeah. I'm just gonna pick up the... Or lease the grapple. The, big bag handler. That way we can just get it done. Let's see. You know what, Crimey River? That's often what I tend to do, is just ignore it. Because oftentimes that works out better for me. Because, like I said, there are times where if somebody comes around and tries to act like a bully, what I tend to do is I tend to try and stick up for the bullied. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. One of my closest friends in high school, he was an extremely nerdy kid. You know, extremely nerdy. But just one of those kind of kids that just wanted to be left alone, kind of thing. Didn't want to be bothered, didn't want people to bother him, kind of thing. You know, just kind of was into the D&D and like just this stereotypical kind of nerdy stuff kind of things. And there was one day I was walking through the halls and I saw he was getting picked on. Like somebody was coming up on him and like shoving him and pushing on him. And none of you know this, you know, none of you have ever seen my face or anything like that, but I'm 6'2", 6'3", and back in those days I was probably about 280. You know, so I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. I can handle myself, kind of thing. You know, I used to play football back in high school and all sorts of sports. So I was built pretty big, you know, kind of thing. And I never took kindly to people being bullies, kind of thing. It was one of those that, you know, I was bullied back in the day, kind of thing, and I don't tolerate it. I don't stand for it at all. Well, this before we were friends, I saw him getting picked on in the middle of the halls, kind of thing. And I knew that it was a thing that happened to him quite often, kind of thing. So when I saw this, the kid that was picking on him, I ended up grabbing him like right by, like my whole palm fit right into the crook of his chest, and I pushed as hard as I could with one arm, and he went tumbling, end over end, kind of thing. Like literally just kind of rolled head over heels backwards, kind of thing. Thankfully, with hindsight, thankfully he didn't just fall and crack his head open on the floor or something like that, but I wasn't thinking like that at the time. But I basically looked down over top of him. It's like, if you pick on him one more time, you're dealing with me, kind of thing. And yeah, it was just one of those. I have a very short tolerance for people trying to be bullies. I just don't stand for it, kind of thing. And yeah, it's one of those that I should just ignore it. I should just, kind of thing. But it's one of those at the same time where, like I said, my nature is not to stand for bullying. So I tend to well, with that particular case, like I said, the one who came at me and said the thing about, I should read more, kind of thing. It was one of those that I ended up saying kind of something kind of smart alecky back, and then said, hey, hope you have a good day and take care, kind of thing. Took the high road, kind of thing. And it's just one of those that at the end of the day, I know they're out there. I know they exist. They're not gonna take me off my stride, kind of thing, because at the end of the day, I'm trying my best to create a community where people like us can all come together, have fun, and just enjoy ourselves and not have to worry about those kind of things. And thankfully there are mechanisms in place that will allow us to deal with those kind of things when and if they rear their ugly head, kind of thing. So for now, we're gonna have fun, enjoy ourselves, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do, at least. Let's see. The map went rogue. Checking the map out. Crimey River, what do you mean the map went rogue? You mean Galgenberg went rogue? And then Jody, what position did you play in football? So there's actually many positions, because I'm from a small town, and that small town we didn't have a ton of kids to play. So it was one of those. I would play offensive and defensive tackle. Because of my size, it was a pretty natural position for me to fill in. And then later on in, would have been my junior year and senior year, I got a shot at playing fullback and occasional running back. And basically, like I said, I was one of the biggest kids around, big corn-fed Midwesterner, and like I said, back in those days, I was, 6'2" and almost 300 pounds, so there was very little that could stop me. And actually, a funny story, so back in high school, it was the one and only time I had ever done this. Every year there'd be a football camp up north, and it would be where a bunch of schools in the state would come together and send all their football teams for a week at camp, kind of thing. And we'd all just sit there and play football, do drills and all that stuff, and kind of learn about good eating habits, good working outs, and stuff like that. And just kind of do the fundamentals, kind of thing. Well, one the one and only year I ended up doing it, and it just wasn't my kind of thing to do the camp kind of thing. It wasn't required, and it was just one of those, I'll try it once. But what led to me doing the fullback position was the camp kind of thing. And what ended up happening is one of the coaches from my school was there as a leader for the camp. It was their year to be one of the volunteers kind of thing. And what ended up happening was there was a drill where basically two people were up against each other, and one person would be in a standing position, the other person would be in the kind of ready position where you'd have your hand on the ground and in the lineup formation kind of thing. And the person who was standing up had a blocker pad, and the person who was on hands on the ground would then, after the ball was snapped, would try to rush through and get around the blocker pad. It was the person's job to block them out kind of thing. Well, there was one kid there who was bigger than I was by several inches. This kid was an absolute beast. And like I said, I'm 6'2". This kid was every bit of 6'5", 6'6", and was just an absolute behemoth. I'd never seen him before. He wasn't in our district, so I never had to play against him kind of thing. But what ended up happening is this kid was just tearing people up left and right the whole time we were there. He was, and the whole thing was that if you successfully got past, then you would take the blocker position. If you didn't get past, then the person who was in the blocker position would continue to block until somebody got around. Well, what ended up happening is this whole time this kid had the blocker pad, no point was anybody getting around him. It's just everyone was just hitting a brick wall at this point. Well, then it got to be my turn, and right as it was my turn, we ended up going for a water break. And that's when I shouted at the coach and said, no, I want to turn. I want to turn at this. So we were the two biggest kids there at the camp. So it was like, okay, so they ended up honoring it. And it was at that point I got into the ready position, and I ended up just bulldozing this kid, just completely plowing through and making my way through. And it was one of those, like, you could tell he was pretty sour about it, because he immediately popped up and said, let me get a chance and, to redeem myself kind of thing. And it was one of those where he couldn't make it through once he came through, and I was the only kid at the whole camp who ended up making their way through it. Hey, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Is that Xavier? Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Okay, I think I've got... Oh no, I still got plenty of room in there. 24,000? Wait, do I have plenty of room? Oh no, I still got plenty of room. But, so anyways, I ended up blocking him out and all that stuff, and it was just one of those that once that happened, my coach saw all this stuff happen kind of thing, and he got the idea of, running some other drills afterwards, and which I got the ball, and we were all in full pads at this time because it was towards the end of the week at this point, and I got the ball, and basically I was tanking my way through everything, kind of thing. And that's when he got the idea of bringing me back to school, and he's like, hey, I want you to try full pack position and see how that goes. You can do the majority of blocking from the fullback position, open up lanes for a runner, but at the same time, you also become available to, be an actual carrying threat as well. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. Okay, now that we are done with that lease. Oh, wait. No, I actually bought the telehandler tool. I didn't mean to buy it. Oh, well. I meant to lease it. Oh, well. So yeah, that was those were my my football days, but I also did things like played hockey. I played a bunch of leagues in hockey, and I was a goaltender at those in those days. Well, I the depending on what era. Later in life, I was a goalie, but I would also play forward and a little bit of defense. But yeah, it was just one of those. Depending on the league, was dependent on what I would do. So let's see. So that should be chugging along, and it is perfect. Let's see. Let me catch up. Oh, with all the things that are going wrong. Yes, yes. The map has gone rogue. Yes. I. Oh my goodness, more helium deer. You know what? We're in September. We're getting ever and ever closer to Christmas. Maybe Santa's around the corner somewhere. Oh my goodness. You know, but I'll tell you what though, with all the issues I've been seeing cropping up here on this map, it makes me really nervous. Like I said, we had the sheep issue, we had the weeding issue, the pallet fork issue. Like those are all small issues. Those are all things that can be dealt with, but I really, really hope there's no like major issues that's looming. Like, hey, you know, the field I can't harvest it or something along those lines. Like, oof, just hey, you can see that patch of spelt. Ay ay ay. Between my silliness and the map silliness, there's just a lot of silliness going on tonight. But it is what it is. Let's see, we got a good amount of product there. Let's see, the chickens should be fine. We did skip ahead a little ways. Oh! Wait. Wait. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Where? There's the animals. Oh, okay. I saw only 837 liters, but it was like, that's not a lot of food. And then it dawned on me it's because there's only 47 chickens in here. Let's see. So, you know what? I probably shouldn't have been so quick to get rid of that telehandler tool, because I could have brought the bales over into the bale storage. You know, it's not hurting anything to leave them there. Let's see, is there anything else that I need to do for now? I can't think of anything. Oh, you know what? I did mean to sell off these trailers in the previous episode. Yep, we're going to do that real quick. We're going to hook up to... Let's see, can the van... I hope the van can carry them. At least I can get there at 74 miles an hour instead of 32. I tell you what, I do like this van. If anybody's looking for a decent, you know, van to be able to vehicle to kind of carry things around in, this one works with the kind of auto load system to where you can actually use it as like a trailer. And oh, nice, it does hook up to trailers. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, this likely will not work. Oh my goodness. Yeehaw. I feel like Ice Age right now, and the sloth character, slalom, baby. Okay, well, we're at least going to bring this up to the tractors, and then we're going to let the tractors do the work. Holy smokes, that's just ridiculous. There we go. Let's see. Northern Farm Sim. Hey guys, I tried to get into the map but couldn't get there. I want to dig into the Italian map, so hopefully Land of Italy comes out one day. Um, well, hey Northern Farm Sim, thank you for joining us tonight. Let's see. Let me make sure I just read that correctly. I tried to get into this map but couldn't get there. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that makes more sense now that I reread it. So it just wasn't the map for you. I can get that. It's one of those that this definitely has its purpose, and I chose this map specifically because of the grape situation that's on it. I specifically wanted this for the Let's Play. It's kind of the first time where I've really kind of, well, at least on camera, really have tackled grapes or olives. So I really wanted to kind of go at it with that. So I figured that this would be a kind of a good one to kind of go about in that regards. But I can see how this one isn't like going to be everybody's cup of tea kind of thing. So I can't say as I necessarily blame you for that. But so how are you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's see, what was the map that you said? The Land of Italy. Haven't heard of that one. Is that one that's for PC only, or is that for all platforms? Just out of curiosity. Or it sounds like it should be was. Because it sounds like it's not released yet. Good choice for grapes. I thought so. It's one of those, like, obviously I could go onto any map and I can install grapes, but for those who are familiar with the storyline so far with this Let's Play, and the live stream here is specific to the kind of in-between moments of the story for the Let's Play, essentially what I wanted was a pre-established farm for a vineyard, and it be owned by a separate person, or at least a separate character of the Let's Play. So this particular one, I'm doing a friend of the family, kind of thing, and they are, in charge of the vineyard. It's failing, and they called me to the farm to be able to kind of help them out, and at the same time I'm running my own farm to be able to kind of diversify the storyline and be able to make it to where it's kind of got that dynamic feel, and just offers for additional avenues kind of thing. So one of those, I felt like this map was kind of a good choice, but unfortunately, as the live stream has kind of progressed tonight, I'm really kind of wondering whether or not I made the right choice as to the map. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the map, but it's one of those that there's been a lot of issues that have cropped up tonight over the last, over the live, not the live stream, the Let's Play, the episode 10 in the background. We had the sheep pop up in one of the fields here. I think it was that field just back there. Just at random, one of my sheep was on the loose. We had the telehandler forks that fell through the floor. We've got the weeder that doesn't want to work properly. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this map. There was a recent update, so I wonder if that update kind of made everything kind of messed up. But it is what it is. I mean, nothing so far that has been like, oh, we got to ditch this map, right away kind of thing and get into a new one. Just one of those. Oops. Kind of take it as we go. Let's see. Repair, repaint, sell. Repair, repaint, sell. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that works out really good, I think. Let's see. Same people that made Emilia, which has some frustrating quirks. but it was super detailed. Not sure if it's PC only or not. I think they're called Edo mods. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with either of those maps, so I'm thinking they might be PC only. Um, like I said, I've got like 5 or 6 different things I've got to look up after the stream, so that's just going to be another one. Just one of those, like, I've got a laundry list of things I want to confirm and just figure out and see what all is going on. Let's see. I've always figured farming sim is a series of frustrations and disappointments with enough balance mixed in to keep you hooked. Just like golf. Oh, I love it. That is by far one of the best analogies I've ever heard. It has just enough frustration and disappointment. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that from going from now on. I've only ever golfed one time, and that's all it took was to know exactly what you're talking about. Now, don't get me wrong. I could actually see enjoying golf. Like, it's one of those, like, if you don't go into it with this huge expectation of, hey, I'm going to be, insert pro PGA golfer, Rory McIlroy. I can't think of the names. Tiger Woods. There we go. We'll go with that one. Hey, I'm not going to be Tiger Woods today. If you go in with that expectation, then, you can have a lot of fun with it. But just like any sport, really, you just kind of go at it with just, wanting to have fun, then it's going to be fun. But, oh, man. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to use that from now on. I can't wait for the proper situation to come up. 10 bad shots, 1 good shot, 10 bad shots. Yes. Yep. Except in my case, it was, because again, one time, about 100 bad shots, 1 amazing shot, and then 200 bad shots. Oh, goodness. It's one of those that I did okay off the tee. I did pretty good off the tee. And the one particular place that we went to had 1 par 3 course. So it was a really short course. And that one I did really good getting to the green. But everything else was probably Happy Gilmore type levels before he actually settled down and got good. So, man, we're having a lot of good movie references tonight. We had Happy Gilmore just now. What was the other one that we did earlier? I can't think of it. Anyways, let's see. Wow, it is 12:30 already. That is what absolutely blows my mind about doing these live streams, is just how fast they go. We started at 9:30. It's now 12:30. 3 hours have just completely blazed past. I don't know where it went. I honestly have no idea. Like, I wonder if my clock's playing a mean prank on me right now, but I can see everything on my screen here is showing, yeah, you've been on for, 3 hours. Oh, goodness gracious. But it's one of those that, unfortunately, that means that I have to start moseying off to bed because I got to work in the morning. But let me give one more quick shout out to all of the BDD farm hands, the tier 2 members. Thank you all again so much for being tier 2s. Crimea River, Mark K, Deco, thank you all so very much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I hope that everybody had a fantastic time tonight. I had an absolute ball, and I am desperately going to try not to let so much time elapse between live streams again. You know, like I said before, this was just a kind of matter of circumstances. Everything just kind of lined up, you know, the past week and a half to where I had just been busy, or Giants has been throwing map after map after map at me. So it's one of those that as long as things kind of stays at an even keel, we should be good to kind of continue. But after this, I think, let's see. Let me take a look at the calendar, because right now we're in May, so we're not into any harvesting months just yet. Ooh, but it looks like next month might be rye harvest. But I don't remember if I planted in the first or second month of rye season. Ooh, alright, so... Well, actually, we're at 9 o'clock in the morning on May. So, quite likely tomorrow will be another live stream, as long as no maps and whatnot come out. So, yeah, we can build up a little bit of additional cash, and we can really kind of hammer out, hammer out some contracts. Hopefully, once I kind of exit out here and come back in, we'll get a few more, bailing or whatever kind of contracts become available, and kind of go from there. But like I said, I hope everybody had a great time tonight. I really enjoyed myself. I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and take care.